To the arrest affidavit, Flowers was identified by an anonymous tipster and by another who gave up his location Friday to police. The affidavit also says that on Flowers' Facebook page, there were pictures of him wearing a mask, similar to the one seen in the surveillance video. The woman he was with was not charged and was merely taken in for questioning.
And public records show that Flowers was a convicted felon from Houston. He has arrests for drug, theft, and weapons charges. Now, in that earlier surveillance video, there was a second person seen on there, and detectives still have not identified that second person or made any arrests, but they hope that by questioning Flowers, Heather, they might be able to ID him.
Hey, Brandon, that video is actually really kind of eerie to look at, to see the suspect without the mask on and kind of put it on and walk around.
A violent outburst in a Milwaukee courtroom as a man fights with deputies following a life sentence. 21-year-old Nathan Potter was shot to death last summer in River West, and his 19-year-old killer has no chance of parole. 12 News' Nick Bohr is live at the courthouse with new information. Nick, deputies reacted quickly to that outburst.
Right, Kathy, almost as if they anticipated it, which they did because of the convicted killer's actions last February during his trial. 21-year-old UWM student Nathan Potter was shot to death in a robbery last July as he walked to his River West apartment after a night out. He wasn't carrying any money.
Judge, there's nothing that can be said to bring back our Nathan. But your sentence can ensure that Shondell does not have the opportunity as a free man to inflict pain like this again. Is there such thing as pure evil? We think so.
At his sentencing today, 19-year-old Shondell Jackson was facing a mandatory life term for pulling the trigger, but hoped for a chance at parole, a hope dashed by Judge Rebecca Dallett, who gave him life without parole, sparking the outburst. It all started when Jackson turned towards the Potter family, something deputies were watching for. At the sentencing today, prosecutors played this 12 News video of Jackson's February conviction when Jackson gestured to the Potter family several times, cursed at them, and as he was let out of court, our camera caught him smiling at the victim's family.
We see how evil Shondell is in court, looking at us, swearing at us, and smiling.
The judge said Jackson's past behavior in court influenced his getting the maximum sentence. Jackson's angry family members today shouted support to him as he was led away, and one screamed at Potter's family as she left the courtroom.
Our little girl was afraid. She was afraid that he was going to try and kill one of us. She was afraid.
You know, I hope as he spends the rest of his life in jail, that he comes to terms with it and does value human life.
She shot him. She shoot him. She's shooting him.
Donnie Herman says his wife Melinda is still shaken up this morning, but he's glad she shot the man who broke into their Georgia home and went after his family.
My wife is a hero. She protected her kids. She did what she was supposed to do as a responsible, prepared.
Dispatching the police right now. Okay. Melinda, I'm on the phone with 911.
She was on the phone with him Friday as he called 911 from work. Authorities released the tapes Tuesday.
Is he in the house, Melinda? Are you sure? Melinda, if he opens that door, you shoot him, you understand?
Police say 32-year-old Paul Slater probably thought no one was home and used a crowbar to break into the house. They say he went after one of the 9-year-old twins as they ran upstairs and then broke through a locked bedroom and a locked bathroom before finding the attic where the kids and their mother were hiding.
All right, you stay in the attic, all right? He's in the bedroom. Okay, shh, relax. Just remember everything that I showed you, everything that I taught you, all right?
She's armed with a .38 revolver, drops the phone with her husband, and starts firing.
She's shooting him. She's shooting him. Okay. Shoot him again. Shoot him.
Slater was shot 5 times in the face and neck, but managed to stumble out and drive away before crashing his SUV up the road and spilling onto a neighbor's yard. Last year, he served 6 months in jail for battery and has at least 6 other arrests on his record.
The kids are at your neighbor's house, okay? And his wife's okay?
The wife's okay.
Yes, sir, your wife is okay.
This morning, Slater is clinging to life at an Atlanta hospital, unable to breathe on his own, accused of burglary and unlawful entry. Donnie Harmon says his family doesn't apologize.
Her life is saved, and our kids' lives are saved. And that's all I'd like to say.
Crick's Corner is back open hours after 2 alleged robbers were found dead on the sidewalk. Crowds could be seen gathered outside the store Tuesday, candles flickering. 24 hours earlier, police say the 2 men burst inside armed with guns, but they were met by a concerned citizen who reportedly witnessed the robbery in progress.
He saw the first suspect with his arms extended holding a large revolver. He saw a second suspect also with his arms extended.
That citizen called 911, and police say when the 2 men came outside and threatened him, the tables were turned. His name has not been released, fearing retaliation.
Thank you, Ryan. Reading police have released the names of the 2 masked men who were shot to death after allegedly robbing that store.
69 News spoke to each of their families today. Relatives say they are heartbroken by what happened, and they want justice for the men.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
After extensively investigating this incident, police determined that the private citizen acted within the law when he tried to stop the 2 armed robbers from fleeing the convenience store. The DA says the private citizen demanded that they stop and wait for police. He says when the robbers refused and pulled out their guns, the citizen shot them in self-defense.
If they would have gone through the door, I would have been dead. So that's the reason that, again, I reached for my gun. I don't come to work to have a shootout, I come to work to make my living.
And it didn't stop there. Marar then posted the video on the store's Instagram page as a warning to any other criminals.
Abducted as she left her office, but it was the quick thinking of 2 hero teens that saved her life.
Yes, I'm on the highway. I'm witnessing robbery, not a robbery, a kidnapping.
That's the voice of 19-year-old Aaron Arias frantically making this call to 911.
Me and another guy, so we're checking out the girl in the back seat because we're like, okay, she's kind of attractive. Then all of a sudden, the guy's turned back looking at it. He looked to the back seat, and the blonde female in the back, she was saying, help me or something, whispering it. So I am assuming it is a kidnapping.
The students followed the car on Highway 175 for miles, staying on the phone with 911 operators as police raced to find them.
Oh, my God, I'm hoping the car behind me is a police officer.
Correct.
Nope, it's not. Oh, my God.
Within minutes, officers arrive and pull over the vehicle. Inside, they discover a 25-year-old woman allegedly kidnapped after leaving an office party in downtown Dallas.
Thank God. You guys are awesome. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, get him! Oh, my God!
Police arrested the driver of the car, Charles Atkins Lewis Jr., charging him with aggravated kidnapping. He remains in jail.
Convicted of brutally attacking and robbing a Waco liquor store owner will spend the rest of his life in prison. Judge Ralph Strother sentenced five-time convicted felon Tony Wayne Swinney today. Matt Gebhardt has more.
The ruling wasn't just based on this August attack on Waco store owner Martha Jane Ezar. Tony Wayne Swinney has been in and out of prison in past years for felonies.
He had a chance to come back into society and be productive, and he didn't do it. And the crimes got more violent as he committed them.
Prosecutors also called victims of crimes that Swinney has confessed to but hasn't been prosecuted for yet, like this assault and robbery at a McDonald's in Grand Prairie last July. As the life sentence was announced, there were cheers and tears from Ezar's family before they had one last chance to tell him face-to-face about the pain they say he caused Martha, her grandchildren who witnessed the crime, and the entire family.
I'm glad that he got life. I don't think it's good enough for him. I think he's a coward. I asked him several times to look at me when I was speaking to him. He didn't want to look at me. At one point he laughed. Like I told him, I hope he has the nightmares in his head that our whole family's been through.
The judge's last words to Swinney, "I wish I could give you more," a sentiment shared by Ezar's family.
His eyes are the keyhole to his soul, and there was no remorse there.
In Waco, Matt Gebhardt, NBC 6 News.
Swinney's attorney says there is no plan to appeal the ruling just yet. Police in Grand Prairie say they will now proceed with the trial scheduled for Swinney for the attack inside the McDonald's and another robbery at an Albertsons grocery store.
A store manager out of jail tonight after pulling a gun over a broken bottle.
Yeah, Margaret Ann Morgan talked to both sides to see what led up to this intense situation, and she joins us now to explain what happened.
Stephen Carey, we've all been told you break it, you buy it. But in this case, you break it and refuse to buy it. A gun is pulled.
I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. You're going to take it? Yes, I'm going to take it.
When Carlos Molino went into the A&B Food Mart on Hardy Street in Hattiesburg, he just planned on buying some beer. One of the bottles in his six-pack fell out and broke when he pulled it from the shelf. And that's when, he says, an angry store manager approached him.
Right off the back, he was real aggressive.
This video posted on Molina's Facebook page shows the manager, Mohsin Galeb, pulling a concealed gun from his back, cocking it and briefly pointing it at Molina's head. Galeb's lawyer calling him a good man who works long hours at the business.
I'd be hesitant to say he stepped out of line.
The lawyer says several police arrived after being called to the gas station, and the two men apologized. But Molina filed charges, and Galeb was arrested after appearing at the Hattiesburg Police Department Friday afternoon. For Galeb's lawyer, he still has questions about what happened prior to the gun being pulled.
I don't know exactly what led up to the incident that I saw in the video.
The customer tells us he would have paid for the items if Galeb did not use such force. The store manager is charged with assault by threat, exhibiting a deadly weapon, and carrying a concealed weapon without a permit.
In Judge Ian Richards' courtroom, being ordered to jail in a domestic violence case does not sit well with this defendant. In a rage, he flies toward his ex-girlfriend, who had sought a restraining order against him. But suddenly, help from the bench. Judge Richards jumps down from his perch, helping protect Nicole Ward. Soon, police officers move in and help restrain her ex.
It hit me like 5 or 6 times in my head. So I'm trying to block him, and my attorney trying to stop him from hitting me. And then from what I seen the judge down. I see all the other people around me trying to get this man off me. And I'm saying, please stop hitting me. He hit me in my head 2 times. They hit me back here 2 times.
Eventually, order returns to this courtroom, and defendant John Charles Reese is back, facing more charges, resisting arrest and domestic battery. Lee Powell, The Associated Press.
Any different, you will serve 10 days for contempt of court. You go now.
It's a scene Wayne County Court security officer Adam Dodson had only witnessed in training videos.
I've worked there for 3.5 years, and this is the first time anything that serious has happened.
But watch again as he jumps into action when Melissa Hardwick lunges at family court judge Jennifer Edwards. And even once Dodson is out of the picture, on top of her on the courtroom floor, she continues to fight back.
Hands behind your back. Just hurt yourself, put your hands behind your back.
She wiggled quite a bit trying to get out of the handcuffs and trying to keep from being arrested, even though, you know, she was being placed under arrest, and I had to use the right amount of physical force to stop her actions.
It started only seconds after Hardwick and her ex-husband were called before Judge Edwards. He'd filed a DVO against her.
But I need you to tell me briefly, in your own words, what happened to cause you to ask for a domestic violence order.
Hardwick's ex was explaining the situation when Hardwick interrupted.
Ms. Hardwick, no. You will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to them.
She will be arrested for contempt of the court.
And it was the 10-day jail sentence that set her off.
You go now.
My adrenaline was pumping, and I did sweat a little bit, but everything went fine, and nobody was injured. So
Except Hardwick came away with a few cuts and scrapes on her face. And Dodson came away with some unexpected on-the-job training.
Everybody pretty much gave me a pat on the back, said a good job, and we're quite a bit really prepared for next time.